Friends, today you are about to hear the life story of an extraordinary ancient people. This is not a common history. This is not a tale taught in ordinary classrooms. This is the story of the Sod, a powerful and mysterious tribe that lived thousands of years ago. Their name appears in fragments of ancient books, sacred texts, and forgotten records. Their existence shaped early human civilization in ways most people never learn about. Tonight, we travel back to a time before modern nations existed, a time when tribes ruled the land, the sky, and the spirit of humanity. This is the untold history of the Sod. The Sod were believed to have lived in a vast region stretching across ancient lands. Some scholars suggest their homeland lay between deserts and fertile valleys. Others believe they moved across continents as master travelers. What is certain is that they existed thousands of years before recorded empires. They were known for their towering physical strength. Ancient descriptions speak of their tall stature and powerful build. Their warriors were said to strike fear into rival tribes. But the Sod were not only warriors, they were thinkers, builders, and guardians of knowledge. Their society was far more advanced than their enemies realized. The Sod believed strength was a gift that demanded responsibility. From childhood, Sod children were trained in discipline. They learned to respect nature, elders, and divine law. Their education began not with weapons, but with wisdom. Stories were passed down orally from generation to generation. These stories explained the origin of the world and humanity. They believed the universe followed a divine order. Breaking that order brought destruction. Following it brought prosperity. This belief shaped every aspect of their lives. The Sod built massive stone structures. Some ruins remain today, though their origin is debated. These structures aligned with stars and seasonal cycles. They understood astronomy long before modern science. The Sod tracked the movement of the sun and moon. Their calendars guided farming, ceremonies, and warfare. They cultivated the land with remarkable skill. Irrigation systems allowed crops to flourish in harsh climates. Food was shared equally among the tribe. Hunger was considered a failure of leadership. Leadership among the Sod was earned, not inherited. A leader had to prove wisdom, strength, and moral integrity. Corruption was punished severely. Justice was swift but fair. Their legal system was rooted in truth and accountability. Lies were seen as the greatest crime. Truth, they believed, was sacred. This belief kept their society unified. Disputes were resolved publicly. Every voice mattered in the council. Religion played a central role in Sod life. They believed in one supreme divine authority. This divine force governed nature and destiny. Rituals were simple, not extravagant. Prayer focused on humility rather than fear. They rejected idol worship. Instead, they believed the divine was unseen but ever-present. Sacred texts were memorized, not written. This ensured the knowledge survived even if books were destroyed. Faith was lived daily, not reserved for ceremonies. The Sod were also master craftsmen. Their weapons were strong yet balanced. Their armor was light but durable. They created tools that lasted generations. Metalwork was treated as an art form. Their artisans were respected members of society. Trade routes connected them to distant civilizations, yet they never allowed foreign influence to weaken their values. They learned from others, but remained independent. This balance made them powerful and respected. Despite their strength, the Sod avoided unnecessary war. They believed war was a last resort. However, when threatened, they were unstoppable.
Historical accounts describe enemies fleeing at the sight of them. Their battle formations were disciplined and strategic. Victory was often achieved quickly. They never celebrated slaughter. Instead, they honored peace after victory. Captured enemies were often spared. Mercy was seen as true strength. Women in Sod society held high status. They were educators, healers, and advisors. Marriage was based on mutual respect. Family bonds were strong and sacred. Children were raised by the community, not just parents. Elders were deeply respected. Their wisdom guided important decisions. Abandoning elders was considered a grave sin. This strong family structure created social stability. It was one of the keys to their longevity. The Sod also believed in physical excellence. Daily training kept their bodies strong. They valued endurance over brute force. Health was maintained through natural remedies. Herbal medicine was widely practiced. Healers studied plants and minerals. Illness was treated holistically, combining body and spirit. This knowledge was guarded carefully. Only trusted healers were trained. Their medical practices amazed neighboring tribes. But despite all their power and wisdom, the Sod faced a great test. Ancient texts speak of a moral decline among some of their people. Pride slowly replaced humility. Strength began to be used for dominance rather than justice. Warnings were given by elders and spiritual leaders. Some listened, others ignored them. Division grew within the tribe. This internal conflict weakened their unity. And history teaches us what comes next. Natural disasters struck their lands. Droughts became more frequent. Fertile fields turned barren. Some believed this was a divine warning. Others blamed enemies or chance. The unbreakable Sod began to fracture. Groups migrated in different directions. Their shared identity slowly faded. Enemies took advantage of their weakened state. The great tribe began to disappear from the world stage. Yet the Sod did not vanish completely. Their legacy survived through stories, symbols, and teachings. Fragments of their wisdom appear in later civilizations. Their belief in truth influenced moral philosophies. Their architectural knowledge inspired future builders. Their emphasis on justice echoed in ancient laws. Even today, scholars debate their true identity. Some believe they were mentioned under different names. Others believe their story was deliberately hidden. But one thing is clear. The Sod were real. They were powerful, and their story matters. This is only the beginning of their journey. In the next part, we will explore their final days. We will uncover how their legacy lives on today. And we will ask the most important question of all. What can modern humanity learn from the rise and fall of the Sod?
As the Sod scattered, their world entered its final chapter. What once stood united now lived in fragments. Small groups carried memories of greatness into distant lands. Some settled near rivers. Others vanished into deserts and mountains. Each group adapted, but none fully replaced what was lost. Unity had been their greatest strength. Division became their greatest weakness. Ancient accounts speak of leaders who tried to restore order. They called councils. They urged repentance and humility. They reminded the people of ancient laws. Some listened with tears in their eyes. Others laughed in disbelief. Time was running out. The Sod had reached a point of no return. History does not forgive arrogance, and neither does nature. One final catastrophe is mentioned in old texts. Its exact nature remains unknown. Some describe a great storm. Others speak of earthquakes and fire. A few suggest a divine judgment beyond human understanding. Cities were destroyed overnight. Fields were buried or burned. The Sod civilization collapsed suddenly. Survivors fled in silence.
Their golden age ended in shadow. Generations later, travelers told strange stories. They spoke of ruins too massive for ordinary humans. They described tools of unmatched craftsmanship. Legends told of giants who once walked the earth. These stories spread across cultures. Over time, truth became myth, myth became folklore, and folklore became forgotten. Yet the influence of the Sod never truly disappeared. Their moral teachings resurfaced in later traditions. Their emphasis on justice echoed in ancient laws. Their rejection of idol worship appeared in religious reform movements. Their belief in accountability shaped ethical thinking. Even today, traces of their worldview can be found, not in one place, but scattered across human history, like pieces of a shattered mirror, each reflecting part of the original truth. Scholars argue about their identity. Some say the Sod were renamed by later civilizations. Others believe their name was erased intentionally. Powerful empires often rewrite history. They erase those who came before. They claim originality where inheritance exists. The Sod may have been victims of this process, too powerful to ignore, too inconvenient to remember. So their name faded, but their ideas survived. There is a lesson hidden in their story. Strength without humility leads to destruction. Knowledge without morality becomes dangerous. Unity without justice cannot last. The Sod had everything humanity desires: power, wisdom, faith, discipline. Yet they still fell. Not because they were weak, but because some forgot who they were. Modern society often repeats the same mistakes. We chase power faster than wisdom. We value dominance over responsibility. We ignore warnings until it is too late. The Sod remind us that progress is fragile. Civilizations do not collapse overnight. They decay slowly from within. The fall begins long before the destruction, and recovery begins with truth. This is their warning to us. Imagine what the Sod could have become: a civilization that bridged ancient and modern worlds, a model of strength guided by ethics, a society where justice ruled power. That future never came, but its possibility still inspires. History is not only about the past, it is a mirror for the present and a guide for the future, if we are willing to listen. Today, the Sod live on through remembrance, through questions